Hello, my loves. Welcome to Meeting Your Shadow, the Emperor. So in this video, we are going to be talking about the Divine Masculine, the Emperor, okay, and some of the blocks that we may bump into. You guys may be receiving this card in the reverse, okay, or just curious to know more about how this journey in the Major Arcana can help us with our own shadow work. Okay, so the Emperor is the father figure of tarot, okay, just like the Empress, that the video I just did before this is the mom, okay, this is all about the dad, okay. He's the provider, the protector, okay, he may be the breadwinner, okay, but he's the rock of the family, okay. He offers guidance, protection, support, and advice to his loved ones, okay. He rules with a very, very firm hand, okay, but he's fair as well, okay. He has a clear vision, he's very organized, he's focused, okay, and he's very well respected, okay, he's very wise, okay. Now, if you're receiving this card in the reverse, that can mean a few different things, okay. It can mean needing to control everything, right? An excessive amount of control, being domineering, okay? Very, very, very stubborn, okay? It's time to assess that relationship with power, authority, okay? Responsibility, discipline, okay? Come out of being so domineering and rigid in our thinking, okay? It's definitely a sign that we could or are dealing with someone that has an overuse or an overabuse, okay, of their authoritative power, okay? And that can really stem from a lot of things, deep insecurities, okay? Freud and I think it's fatherhood issues, okay? It could be an issue with a father, okay? It can also talk about shying away from the leadership role, okay? It can also talk a little bit about feeling constricted, confined, not living for yourself, okay? I'm going to talk about that more in the next video, the Hierophant, okay? But here we'll talk more about commitment to our goals, okay? And self-discipline. First, though, I want to get into the first block of abuse of power, okay? And I hope I'm not going to jump around here to where it's confusing. I hope that I make this flow for you guys, okay? Because there's a few different things I want to cover under this, okay? It's important. And they're really heavy topics that can't be covered in a 15 or 20 minute video, whatever this is, okay? But we are specifically going to talk about emotional and mental abuse, okay? It can happen in parental relationships, platonic, intimate, okay? Our personal, professional, whatever that means, okay? It can happen in any dynamic, okay? So we need to be mindful of that we can experience this. Now, the first layer, I guess I want to talk about, okay, is narcissism. I think that term gets thrown around a lot, and it's like, what does that actually look like? What does that actually mean, right? It's something that is in the core, okay? So it's deeper than vanity, okay? Or being self-obsessed, okay? Or just being, or, you know, manipulative. That can also be used to describe that, okay? It's someone, you can literally describe, I'm going to refer to it as a narc for short, okay? As a narc, as a big baby, okay? And not to bully, quite literally, because they're trapped, okay? In survival mode. They are trying to feed survival instincts, okay? They're trying to meet their basic needs, okay? Somebody that is narcissistic knows life as a battle zone, okay? They're a stranger to their innermost realm. They're not able to check in with themselves. They're in this self-protective construct of reality, okay? They're not capable of acting or thinking selflessly, okay? Having empathy is not a trait for a narcissist, okay? Again, they're locked in that spiral, right, of unmet childhood needs, okay? They have nothing to give at their core because it feels like their survival is at stake, okay? Every day is stressful, and they're stuck like this, even if it's not realistic anymore. They're stuck in this pattern, okay? Narcissists are very, very sensitive to shame, okay, or blame. They have a hard time taking responsibility for their own actions, right? Because taking responsibility triggers this huge threat to criticism, okay? That's like this huge emotional wound, okay? It's very sensitive to them. They have very black and white thinking, okay? They may idealize some, devalue others, right? Depending on their morals. They also have this belief, okay? They don't understand, right? That people don't think the same way do. They're not operating from the same way that they are, okay? They believe that the others see life as they do, which is like this series of games, okay, or challenges to be won, okay, to have their needs met. They don't know how to just communicate, how to ask, okay? That wasn't modeled to them. They don't have that skill. They also view others as inferior, okay? So they're not able to apologize for their behavior. If they apologize, it's like this threat of being defeated, right? Because they're in survival mode. If someone, okay, apologizes to a narc and takes accountability for the behavior, that's basically to a narc saying, I am superior, I knew it. And now, okay, in their mind, right, it's like almost this license for retaliation and revenge, okay? They're very, very skilled at finding those pressure point wounds within us, okay? Oof. Anyone who has dealt with somebody that was just a little bit narcissistic at their core understands that. I'm sure that we all do, okay? Narcs are not fundamentally able to forgive themselves, okay? So forgiveness is not a concept to them, right? Self-reflection represents this dangerous vulnerability, right? It's not possible. It's too exposed, okay? They literally don't know how. They don't have the skill, okay? It feels very fight or flight for them when they try to go that deep, okay? And there's different types of narcissists as well, okay? There's extroverted narcissists who have an inflated ego, okay? They demand respect. They talk about all their accomplishments, even if it, you know, even if it's not others' reality, right? They love competition, love it. They thrive, okay? The introverted narc is more of somebody that enjoys to play the victim, okay? They may avoid others because, again, they believe that they're better than, okay? But this is why it's hard to get information on narcissism and stuff because it goes untreated, right? They don't have the ability to self-reflect, okay, and ask themselves, am I a narc? So don't worry, while I was doing this video, I was like, oh my gosh. We all go through that, and I think that we can all have narcissistic traits within us, okay, that we're human, okay, but this is a different level here. But it's important to recognize this, okay, and where was I? Oh yeah, but this is why it goes untreated, right? They're not able to self-reflect. And honestly, okay, therapy is this ultra fantasy relationship for a narc where they just get to talk about themselves, okay? A narc can go to therapy for years and years and make zero progress, okay? Victims of emotional abuse are often worn down and don't recognize what's happening, okay, or who they're dealing with, especially when they're using forms like manipulation and gaslighting, which I'm gonna go into, okay? Excuse me for a sec. So, gaslighting is another term that gets thrown around, okay? Super cool, right? But what are we really saying? What does it really mean, okay? Gaslighting causes you to question your judgment, your memories, your perception of reality, your mental health, okay, your well-being. Gaslighting is actually a term that comes from an Alfred Hitchcock, can't pronounce his name, an Alfred Hitchcock film called Gaslight. It was based off a play in the 1930s, but it was basically where this husband makes a wife believe that she's losing her mind by making subtle changes to her environment by like dimming a gaslight, thus coining the term, okay? But it's a tactic that one slowly, okay, that's a key word, uses, okay, to gain control or power over a person or a situation, okay? And this person may also right? A skilled gaslighter may throw in positive reinforcement as well, right? So it really confuses you and it can really keep you stuck. They may also project their insecurities, okay, or their guilty conscience, right? Like an example, you're cheating on me, you're not faithful, okay, or you're gonna fuck up this project at work, right? And even when they are confronted with proof, with the truth, right, they will shaggy that, okay, and say, nope, wasn't me. Deny, deny, deny. It doesn't matter, right? To where you're like, am I insane? That's their whole motive, okay? They might try to discredit you, okay? Pretend to be worried about your well-being, right? Or talk to your friends and family saying, hey, how is so-and-so doing? I've been noticing some of this, right? Or saying that your friends and family are worried about you, okay? They may try to distract you, okay, when you confront them. Change the subject immediately, maybe by asking a question, okay, or saying, you know how much I love you. I would never hurt you, right? They want to turn the tables instead of responding to the issue at hand. Again, because they are in survival mode, okay? In that moment, they're being triggered. It's very fight or flight, okay? It's important that we understand both sides so that we can recognize these own behaviors within ourselves, okay? We don't have to be a diagnosed narcissist to notice times when we're manipulating or gaslighting somebody, okay? And I'll talk about that more, how we can be not even aware of it, okay? But yeah, so for gaslighters, the technique is, again, a way to control the moment in the relationship, okay? To stop the conflict, to ease that anxiety, okay? And to feel in control again of themselves. And the whole point is to feed that need of feeling safe, right? I mean, think about it with the Shaggy song, okay? He just needed to not be in confrontation at that moment with his girlfriend, right? Like, who knows? I'm sure he cared about her, right? He's just doing his own thing. He doesn't know why he messes this up, okay? He has his own, like, issues to work through, right? That actually have nothing to do with her, okay? But here he is gaslighting her, okay? A silly example, but it's true. So, again, gaslighters may be unaware, okay? Or they may even feel like they're just being honest. They're just being blunt. They're just being realistic. They're saying it how it is, okay? Remember their inability to self-reflect, okay? Especially in that present moment. It is a panic. It's just not registering there, okay? They don't have the skills yet. Maybe one day, right? But people aren't born gaslighters, guys. It truly is a survival tactic, and I think it's so important that we remember that, okay? It's really important to remember who we're dealing with, but at the same time, we don't have to look at a human being like they're evil, okay? They're wounded. Meet the person where they are, and I'll go into that more. But a gaslighter is a student of social learning, okay? Again, they weren't born this way. They witness it themselves, okay? They feel the effects of it, right? And how powerful it is. Or they're, they witness it themselves and they see how potent it is, or they go through it, right? Whatever it is, they understand the power that this coping skill now has, okay? And that's all they know, especially if this is something that they've been exposed to since childhood, right? So let's talk about manipulation a little bit, okay? Where does the manipulation come from? It can stem from childhood, okay? So here's a great example, okay? Maybe one some of us might be familiar with, okay? If not in our personal lives, we've seen it in movies, right? It can even be framed as romantic. But a mom, okay, manipulates a father by threatening to leave, okay, instead of talking about her feelings, okay? That has just now become, saying if a child was exposed to this, okay? That has just now become the child's example of how to explain your needs or get what you want, right? It's their new coping skill. Even more so, think about that, because the father is going above and beyond, right? To convince the wife to stay, to convince the wife whatever he is, right? And that child is now viewing that. That's how we show love. That's how we should feel when we receive love, okay? It's important to look at this from so many different angles, and I'm just touching on this stuff rarely, so go back and reflect a little bit on this, okay? I challenge you to combine the Empress energy with the Emperor energy and watch how balanced you can become, okay? But people that manipulate can have the best of intentions but still act in a deceptive manner. Okay, it's often associated with anxiety disorders, or again, those deep insecurities, okay, childhood issues. Not that that is an excuse, it's still their responsibility to heal, but they may not be even aware that there's something to heal, especially if this is cycles of generation after generation. So if you're recognizing this within yourself, be kind to yourself. Okay, just be thankful and grateful that you recognize it now and you can break the cycle and evolve. Okay, that's the whole purpose of this stop in the journey. Okay, here's some signs to look out for if you're being manipulated, because sometimes it can truly go right over our head, especially when it's our own reality that we know. Okay, it's the only thing we've known. Attempting to control someone else's feelings, making them feel bad, okay? Using love as bait, breadcrumbing them, right? Claiming, if you love me, you would do this, okay? Giving them attention certain times and withholding communication or affection, okay? Lying, misleading people, withholding information, twisting the story, okay, to benefit their view, right? Blaming others for your actions, okay? Keeping intentions vague, just not saying what somebody wants, right? That's a form of manipulation that we may not even recognize we're doing, okay? Having know-it-all tendencies, having really deep issues with jealousy, okay? It all stems from, again, those survival instincts. It may be fear or whatever that means, okay? But this is where it comes from. So what do we do if we're dealing with a narcissist, a gaslighter, right? A manipulator? We need to gain some distance from this person, okay? Physically, if you can, right? But most importantly, you need to ground yourself, okay? Regain your sense of power. Take a step back from the intense emotions that this can bring on, especially if you're being gaslit, okay? Save the evidence, my loves, okay? Work emails, text conversations with family, friends, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, okay? Keep a journal of the events, right? Don't allow yourself to question yourself, okay? Set boundaries. Boundaries tell other people what we're willing to accept, okay? I touched a little bit on this in the Empress video, I believe, okay? Don't be afraid to get some outside perspective, okay, with somebody that you feel safe with, a trusted source, okay, family, friend, a therapist if needed. If you don't feel comfortable sharing details, the truth, that's a red flag, my loves, okay? Authenticity, there's nothing to be ashamed of there, okay? There's a difference between being private and keeping things secret, okay? You're not supposed to live in a secret. It's not supposed to feel like that. And again, ending the relationship is the most effective way to end that type of abuse, okay? Don't sell your soul for a salary. Don't sacrifice your entire life and your well-being for someone else's approval, right? For someone else's love, okay? If you're dealing with somebody that is struggling with this type of wounds, we can be mindful to meet them where they are, absolutely, okay, and love them from afar, but sometimes that might mean no contact, okay? You have to do what's best for you and just hope that that person heals and they get the message. Remember that people who are abusing their power have a goal when they're using these tactics. The key is to not get triggered, okay? Don't get dragged into the drama, right? Recognize it for what it is, okay? Embrace that inner empress, okay? Embrace that inner masculine emperor energy, and again, meet them where they are, okay? They want the attention. They want you to give away their inner power, okay? I just want to shout out the National Domestic Abuse Hotline, 1-800-799-7233, just in case anyone needs that, okay? Some resources for you guys. Switching tactics now, that was very heavy, but I want to talk about the other side of this, okay? There's some of this that will coincide with the next video I'm going to do on the the Hierophant. And that's really about feeling a connection with spirituality and such, okay? So I'm going to stick to self-discipline for the next block right now with the Emperor, okay? Self-discipline is so hard because the things you want to do often require your present self to do the most work right now, which is your future self benefiting from that. So what the heck, that's not fun, right? But it's about learning to control yourself so you can work on your goals even when no one's watching, even when no one expects you to or is telling you to, okay? But we face resistance every day, right? Pain, effort, stress, fear of failure, fear of the unknown, a lack of energy, a lack of confidence, okay? We can get stuck in that present bias, right? Like where we're just doing what we want to do in that moment for instant gratification, okay? Not giving much forethought how our actions affect our future, right? We can also fall into the try too hard cycle. Guilty. We want to change our life, so we do it all at once, and then we burn out, so then we give up, and we procrastinate and do nothing for a while, and then we get bored and like fed up, so we want to change our life, and then we try to do it all at once. Procrastination's a bitch, okay? Because we spend a lot of time trying to perfect a plan to like never follow through with it anyway, right? Guilty. So let's talk about a method for that, okay? My therapist has been trying to drill this concept into my head forever, so let's all do it together, shall we? Break things down, my loves, okay? Be as specific as possible with your goals, okay? Break it down. Example, I want to clean my house. I want to lose weight. No, too broad, okay? We're going to make a chore list for each room of the house, okay? We're going to set a goal of, I'm going to work out for 20 minutes Monday morning, okay? Because when we're specific, it means that there's already kind of a plan in place to help us reach that goal, right? So avoid that all or nothing mentality, okay? And give credit to those smaller achievements too, okay? It's important. More confidence and enthusiasm, okay, makes you keep going. Avoid attachment to those outcomes, okay? Watch that Empress video. But yeah, align your interests of your present self with your future self, okay? That could help as well, right? Prioritize your goals that you would enjoy doing now, or maybe you could learn to enjoy doing, okay? Making things as convenient as possible, okay? It's a great recipe for success. Yeah, sorry, I got stuck there. But the easier it is, the more likely that you will do it, okay? Find joy also in the process, just not the outcome, right? You can have mini goals in your goals, okay? Happiness is a state of mind. Make it fun, right? Forgive yourself for the off days and try again, okay? And yeah, with that said, I'm going to leave you guys with a quote from Plato, a famous philosopher and mathematician. He says, we can easily forgive a child who is afraid of the dark. The real tragedy of life is when men are afraid of the light. So I hope that this helped. Please like, share, subscribe, comment down below, and I will see you guys on the Hierophant. Bye.